Hey boys and girls, Tsufit here. I'm back with the third part of the third chapter of Step into the Spotlight. The chapter is called I'm Ready for My Close-Up Mr. DeMille, and this is part 3. Put on your own show. Stars never put themselves at the mercy of other people's games. I have a client who came to me to coach her after a public speaking contest. I told her that as confident as I was in my abilities as a speaker and a singer, and having even won those kind of contests in the past, or talent contests actually, that I won, I would never put myself in that position of participating in a speaking contest. Why stand side by side with other people who are trying to show that they are better than you? A guy who sells high-end televisions, I overheard him telling somebody else that there was a reason that a particular leading brand, rhymes with pony, I'm not the one who said it, never allows itself to be displayed side by side with other competitors. Why? He claimed that by having its own little niche within the store, this brand avoids being shown up by the competition. If it's true, they're smart. In fact, I don't think it's true anymore. I think I've seen Sony in rooms with other TVs. But the idea is the idea, right? Stars set up their own stage and they put on their own show, one where the lighting and the sound and the audience and the time of year and the time of day and everything else suits them. In particular, suits them and suits their talents. Predictably, the contest didn't go as well as my client had hoped, largely, in my opinion, because of her lack of control over the circumstances, right? After Coke's recovery with Coke Classic, the tradition drawer was clearly taken by Coke, so Pepsi made a play for the youth drawer. And the Pepsi generation was born, right? Pepsi became the drink not only for young people, but for the young at heart, the aging boomers with fat wallets who wanted to recapture their youth by drinking a youthful drink, Pepsi. So ask yourself, what are you really selling? So you're an insurance salesperson. You rank up there in popularity somewhere between dentists and income tax auditors, right? But you can change all that. Because it's not about the benefits of term insurance versus whole life or statistics on the frequency of scary diseases. It's about peace of mind. That's what you're selling, a sense of security that whatever happens, you will be okay. You don't have to remind us about all the scary things to get us to buy. Freedom 55, remember that campaign? They had it right. Youthful, gray-haired people walking hand in hand on the beach. Where do I sign? So if you insist on scaring your prospects, most marketers will tell you customers will pay more to avoid pain than to seek pleasure, then at least be clever about it, right? Altamira Investment Service has a brilliant print campaign, or at least it did back in the day, featuring a granny wearing a Walmart type smock, and she's wearing a "Have a Great Day" button, and it reminds us all what will be our fate if we don't adequately prepare for retirement. It's a brilliant commercial for Altamira. The company no longer exists, but it's still a brilliant commercial. So are you, I don't know if they exist, maybe somebody bought them. Anyway, are you selling a truffle or a Hershey bar? Now, I don't have a lot of gray hair, but if I did, I'd be wanting to walk along that beach with some Heather Locklear hair. L'Oreal was brilliant when it came to promoting its hair color product Preference. It costs a little more, but I'm worth it, right? If women choose anything other than Preference, they're telling themselves they aren't worth it enough to buy the good stuff, right? In Don't Go Shopping for Hair Products Without Me, Paula Bejoun tells of a study in which 100 women were given 2 identical conditioners, but told that one was a very expensive salon product, while the other was an inexpensive drugstore conditioner. A full 80% of the women reported that they preferred the expensive conditioner and that it performed better. 80%, it was identical. Come on, people. Psychology professor and author Robert Cialdini, he wrote Influence, Science and Practice, great book, you should check it out, tells a story about a friend of his who ran a Native American jewelry store in Arizona. His friend was having trouble selling her turquoise pieces and decided just to unload them all, she would sell them all at half price. So she left her employee a note, all jewelry times a half. Now the employee misread the note and doubled the price of everything. Guess what happened? The employee, by the time the owner returned, the jewelry had all sold. People bought it at double the price, stuff that they wouldn't buy at half the price. So 4 times the cost. Lest you think it's just women who fall for this stuff, let me tell you about another study. In a book called Remote Control, Frank Mankiewicz and Joel Swerdlow report an experiment conducted over 30 years ago at the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. 250 beer lovers were grouped by personality type and given 4 different brands of beer to taste. Each of the brands was given a different connotation-free name: Bix, Zim, Waz, or Biv. The beer drinkers were shown storyboards of proposed television commercials, each designed to appeal to one of the 4 personality types. After seeing the storyboards, the subjects were given the various beers to drink and asked to comment. Not only did each of them claim to taste the difference between them, several chose one as their favorite, and many said that one brand or another was not fit for human consumption. Can you imagine? The punchline, there's no big surprise here. All the beer was identical, all taken from one brew, from the same vat. Same stuff, different reactions. What makes this even more interesting is that the subjects chose their favorite beer as predicted by their personality types and influenced by the proposed commercials. It's not just about the ugly brown liquid. You gotta know what you're really selling. And once you have the right what, the how is easy. How can you sell it if you don't know what it is? All right, so now we're moving on to who's your audience. Who's your audience? So a shoe factory sends 2 marketing scouts to a region in Africa to study prospects for an expanding business. One sends back a telegram saying, "Situation hopeless, stop. No one wears shoes." The other writes back triumphantly, "Glorious business opportunity, stop. They have no shoes." That's from The Art of Possibility by Rosamund and Benjamin Zander. So, identical situation. Nobody has shoes. Some think of it as a great business opportunity. Some think of it as hopeless. So who's your audience? You can't go 2 seconds as an entrepreneur without somebody asking you, who's your target market? Who's your target market? It's not always that obvious. Don't worry if you aren't sure who your audience is. Just be observant and watch for trends. I heard a guy recently telling a story about how he put on seminars to teach couples how to accumulate wealth. He got a small, respectable but small showing. One night, a woman came up to him and thanked him for really speaking to women. So what did he do? He went out on a limb and billed the next seminar as a women's wealth building seminar. He got 800 participants. His audience, his average audience, grew to about 1,000 women a shot. He found his audience, or more accurately, his audience found him. So be on reception. The book Compact Classics had only sold a number of copies when somebody commented to the author that he loved the book and that each story was so short it could be read in the bathroom. Fortunately, the author was paying attention and repackaged the classics compilation as the Great American Bathroom Book with the subtitle Single Sitting Summaries of All-Time Great Books. So based on observation, rather than targeting, Compact Classic was able to reposition its product from a textbook kind of compilation to a popular phenomenon. The book went quickly from obscurity to bestseller, selling 1.5 million copies and counting. When I started my coaching practice, I promoted myself as a publicity coach. But many of the people who ended up in my audience were more interested in learning how to present in public, how to stand out, how to add humor, how to get noticed. I thought my audience would be mostly entrepreneurs who were just starting a business. I do get a few of those, but most of my actual audience, most of my actual clients are really well established in business. Several have been named Entrepreneur of the Year. It would never in 1,000,000 trillion years have occurred to me that many of my clients would also be professional speakers, trainers, and even radio and television hosts. My audience found me. But you got to be aware when, people are interested in you, you got to recalibrate. Forget the fishing rod, use a net. Entrepreneurs waste a ton of time chasing leads. Many networking groups promote lead chasing concepts. my view, there's no point in fishing with a fishing rod, right? It's inefficient and unnecessarily painful for the fish. I just prefer to lay out an enticing net and see who chooses to swim in. Self-selection. When I introduce myself to an audience of 80 or 100 people at a business event, the 4 or 5 people who come up to me afterwards are never, ever, ever the ones that I would have targeted, right? So don't worry about finding your audience. We're going to do some more character development first. Your job is to become visible and stay visible. Your job is to keep the lamp burning like at a lighthouse, and so your audience can find you. We're going to end it there for today. That was the third part of chapter 3, if I'm not mistaken. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille, part 3. We'll continue with part 4 soon. Ciao, ciao. Oh, see you in the spotlight.